Hello friends, welcome to Chess Frolics. And here is an amazing problem. It's known as a fantasy problem because this is the composer's imagination. You will not get such a position in actual play. White is to play and win. So white starts with knight to d2 check. King has only moved king to e5. Knight to f3 check. King can either go to e6 or to e4, but it will be the same. So if the king goes to e6, knight to g5 check, king to e5. Now the bishop steps in with bishop to f6 check. G pawn takes the bishop. Rook to e7 check. The only move, queen has to intervene. Rook takes the queen. The pawn on d has to take the rook. Now the knight comes back to f3 to give a check so that the king comes to e4. Knight to d2 check. Still you can see the black king has no escape. King goes back to e5. And now knight to f2. Threatening mate from d3 or f3. But black has a pawn which can just promote. But if black promotes the pawn to the queen, then either of the knight can deliver a mate, as the e4 square is covered by both the knights. So black promotes the pawn to a knight so that both the squares are covered. Now what is white supposed to do? White makes a waiting move, king to h4. Black moves d3. White will not take the pawn, but moves the pawn to c3 to block the d4 square. Now, black gives a check with the knight from g2. If the king goes to h5, black will move the pawn to f3 and the black king can come out from f4. So therefore, after knight to g2, white moves the king to h3, keeping an eye on the f4 square from g3. The knight comes back to e1, now still guarding the f3 and the d3 squares. White makes another waiting move, king to h2. Black plays f3 and the king will come to g3, again covering the f4 square. f4 check, king goes to g4. d4, c4, again covering both the squares. f5 check, king goes to g5, covering the f6 square. Pawn moves to d5, c5. Now the king has no moves. The pawns have exhausted all their moves. Only the knight remains. Wherever the knight moves, next move is going to be made. If the knight goes to c2 or to g2, either of the knight can take d3 or f3 and it is a mate. And now you can see once again every piece has moved from its original position. And knight comes here, either of the knight delivers a mate. Thank you very much. And I hope you have liked the problem. Thank you once again.